This little video is brought to you by SCUK Skateboards and Rule 1 Skate Shop. Thank you for supplying the parts. Welcome to SkateWine's How Not to Put a Skateboard Together. So you're a new beginner to skateboarding and you've decided to buy your skateboard in bits, which isn't advisable. Go to a good skater-owned skate shop and ask them to put it together. But if you're stupid like me, then you have it all in bits. This guide is to help the beginner in putting together their skateboard like a loser. First up, make sure you've purchased yourself a skate tool, Allen key, skate wrench. We've got Def skateboards and Film Trucks collab. You'll need two of these, so there's two. Sometimes they come in a pair, sometimes they don't. If they look rather cheap, it's probably just for one. If they look expensive, it's probably for two. If they look expensive and it's just for one, then welcome to the world of skateboarding. We've got Rush titanium coated skateboard bearings. Don't ever go into a skate shop and buy trucks, skateboard, wheels, and then get home, like I almost did, thanks Graham, and not have any bolts to put it together. These pack of 8 Wayward wheels, 56, they're quite big. If you're a street skater, probably want 50 to 54s, and then ramp 54 to 58. Looking for all the comments saying that I'm wrong. And then vert skateboarding, you just want as big as the globe, basically, as big as you can possibly get. I tend to ride 60s for everything. Oh, and how can I forget? We've got a Dave Allen SUK Legends series. 8.5, was 8.25, but someone just crossed out and put 8.5. I usually ride 8.5 or 8.38 just to be really awkward, which Graham loves. And the most important part of putting a skateboard together is the grip tape. No matter how well you do this, someone is going to complain about it, which is hilarious because you take it down to a skate park and it turns over and hits something, your grip tape job's done straight away. So I've already done a how not to grip tape. I'm going to do like a, hopefully up here, to say go and check out the other video of how not to grip your board. Don't do this. I'm going to put this bit here on along with this one, and if you're a loser like me, you go for fluoro, but always stick to black grip tape because black grip tape is basically the most boring grip tape you can get, and skateboarders are generally pretty boring, so just make sure it's black and plain, and make sure that you don't have much of a personality with there. Don't draw on your grip tape, that's not cool either. So tips from me. Make sure that it's nice and black and clean, unlike me who goes for the loser fluoro. Take your old crappy, used to be the #1 truck in the world. Already, I've done this to the grip tape, so somebody down the skate park is going to say, "Did you grip the board yourself, Rob, because that looks horrendous?" Yes, I did. Yes, I did. If you are over 18 and you know how to use a Stanley, cut away from yourself. We've gone over with the metal to make sure we can see where the board is and making sure that you do a terrible job so every skateboarder down the skate park hates you. Don't ever discard this. We're going to make sure that there's no air bubbles in this because the fluoro grip tape already is going to draw too much attention down the skate park for people that want to hate on you. You know, you might be thinking, Rob, you've only gripped half of your board, but this is actually how pro skaters skateboard now. They used to do it at the ends for ollie norths, but I just do it just for ollie easts. So ollie easts, well easy now, just slips right off. Remember, once you've done this, you've got a hoover for mum and dad. Now I tend to do this just to smooth over the sandpaper edges. Yeah, so stuff like that. You just don't. Why you don't do that? Yeah, look at that. Really happy about that. You might be thinking, how on earth am I going to get the bolts in? Where do they go? I can't see the other side now. Simple. You take your Allen key from your bolt set and you just whack it through, and there we go. You've got your 4 holes nicely cut out. Take 2 bolts and put them in the opposite ends. 1, 2, and the grip tape will hold on to them. Take your new Death and Film Truck. So it's 5.5 for 8.25, and I think up to about 8.38, 8.5. You want to go to 6 with Film Trucks. Place that on there like that. Spin it round, just maybe putting a slight angle on it so the truck stays down, and then take your bolts, slip them over. Allen key wrench, skate tool. And then just turn it like that. And then a bolt will go into the wood. Now you don't want to over tighten your bolts You want to try and get them as flush to the board as possible, but don't go any further because otherwise you'll break your board. Too much tension is actually just as bad as too little. Nice and flush. You want to make sure that the bolt on your skateboard is facing inwards, because if it's facing outwards, it's going to cause you a lot of mischief later on in the life. Always make sure bolts are looking at each other, they're not looking away from each other. Communication is the best form of device on the skateboard, and the bolts need to look at each other and be able to communicate how to turn. Otherwise, if the bolts can't talk to each other, they just don't know what to do, and you're going to be in all kinds of danger. Next part of this, we get our wayward wheels and bearings. Now these bearings come with spacers. Not all bearings come with spacers. The spacers go in between the bearings. So you've got 2 bearings. As I was saying earlier, these bearings, they need to communicate. A washer goes in between them so they can communicate nicely. To be honest with you, I never used a washer before in my life. I usually just leave that one out and just chuck them in, but I'm going to use them. You want to take your bearing and place it in the wheel, and if it doesn't go in, the wheel's really difficult to push in, because these wheels are definitely recyclable, they're not going to cause landfill issues later on in life. You want to turn it around and put the bearing on the truck. Take the bolt off the truck, put it on where the wheels go, which is at the side, and place your wheel over the top and push down, and they should just pop right in like that. The washer over the top like that, place it over, little push. Cool people, they like to buy these really expensive wheels with nice graphics on the outside, swap them around and just have plain graphics. Skateboarding's weird. I mean, why do we do this? I don't know. Place the bolt back on, tool, back on the old tool, tighten it up. Now, a little secret is you want to tighten it until you can't hear a noise. So keep tightening it, don't over tighten it, just so you can't hear anything. Now there's no movement, there's no noise. Just go back slightly until you can just about hear a noise. That's, for me, that's perfect. You know, there's a little bit of play. You don't want your bearings rubbing against the bolts. Over tightened bearings, you're heading for disaster. Do not cross thread these at horizontal. Don't be cross threading, because that's new trucks and they're expensive. Once you've got that on straight, it should like slot round. If you can hand tighten it, probably means you're not cross threading it. And then once you can't tighten it anymore with your fingers, which should be after a couple of turns, take your tool, put it on, and make sure that it's not the truck one, because the truck's slightly bigger. Yeah, that's good. After you've used your bearing tub, you can take that middle bit out, reuse that for, I don't know, like herbs and spices if you're into cooking. They're always handy to have. Little tin now, got a little tin, brilliant. I love skateboard bearings, they're brilliant. Will he do it? So as you can see, it's now pretty dark. I've not been doing this for very long, obviously. It's not been taking me absolutely hours to do a how-to, so I don't actually know how to do it. I don't actually know how to put a skateboard together myself, so I probably need to go on YouTube myself and look at how to put a board together. I still need to put in the other 4 bolts, but there you have it. Brand new setup. Thank you, Graham at SUK Skateboards. Rule 1. I'm going to take this little beast out for a little cruise. See how she blows. Dave Allen, Def Skateboards, Film Trucks, Wayward Wheels, Rush Bearings. Looking forward to it.